I'm Emily P. Freeman, and welcome to The Next Right Thing. You're listening to episode 373. This is a podcast about making decisions, but also about making a life. If you struggle with decision fatigue, chronic hesitation, or if you just need a few minutes away from the constant stream of information and the sometimes delightful but also distracting hum of entertainment, you're in the right place for discerning your next right thing. I'm an author, a spiritual director, and an occasional workshop leader. I live in North Carolina with my family, and through my work, I've helped thousands of spiritually thoughtful people overcome decision fatigue so that they can discern their next right thing in faith, work, and life. In a world of comparison, competition, and constant performance, it's easy to turn inward, guard our energy, or measure our worth by what we haven't yet done. But what if instead of striving, we chose to cheer? What if your next right thing wasn't about you at all, but about seeing someone else clearly and naming their goodness out loud? I'd like to help make this easy, and I hope this comes as good news. As of right now, we have a brand new collection available inside the Quiet Collection app. It's called the Birthday Collection, and it's a meditation designed to listen to every day of your birth week. What better way to let someone know you're rooting for them than to remember their birthday? You can send it as a gift or you can gift it to yourself. Just download the Quiet Collection app for your iPhone or Android device and navigate to the collections to learn more right there inside the app. But even if it's not their special day of the year, finding someone to root for can be one counterintuitive way to combat loneliness and discouragement. Listen in. I was in my favorite English class. It was 8th grade. My favorite teacher, Mrs. Smith, was moderating a lively discussion among us about love from some book we were reading. I don't remember the book, but the topic of soulmates came up, and someone posed the question, do you think there's just one person in the world for everyone, like a soulmate? Now, this was, of course, before the days of the internet. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were toddlers. Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit was a brand new release. We were decades away from smartphones where people had easily accessible answers to, or at least easily accessible conversations about these questions in the form of podcast episodes, Instagram posts, and TikTok memes. Our worlds and worldviews were smaller then, which is probably why I, as an 8th grader, maybe ninth grade, I think it was 8th grade, was super confident, 100% sure of this one thing. Of course, there is just one person in the world for everyone. And I was hell-bent on what I would have at the time thought was a romantic belief that there was one person out there waiting for me, and one day we were going to find each other. But Mrs. Smith countered this belief I held tightly to as a 14-ish-year-old person when she said without judgment, well, I don't believe that at all. I've had 2 soulmates in my life, my first husband, and then when he died, my second. I was stuck silent, and I was thinking about this because it's the first time that I remember having my worldview challenged. I'd never thought about this reality that you could have 2 soulmates. Let the record show, I no longer believe there's just one person in the world for you who is your soulmate. I do, of course, believe in love, but I share that story because Mrs. Smith challenged my thinking in the 8th grade, causing me to consider something in a way that I had not done. That is the mark of a good teacher. So imagine my delight when I received a paper back from her that same year that I had written, where she had written in a grade in the top right-hand corner. But along with that, in her neat cursive handwriting, she wrote the words, "Well done. You are a good writer." I still remember what it felt like to read her feedback. My heart beat fast and my hands felt electric as I realized not only the fact that she liked what I wrote, but I realized I believed her. That was over 30 years ago, and I still remember the shape of those words she wrote in red pen in the corner of my paper. I remember what they looked like on the page, how I felt when I read them for the first time, what it looked like when we put it up on our fridge, because, yeah, we put that up on our fridge. That's what it feels like when someone roots for you. Now, you might argue she was just being a teacher doing her job, but I would say she is a person who understood the assignment. That part of being a middle school teacher means that you are the kind of person who has made it your job to root for kids, to cheer them on, to be in their corner. What a hero. Finding someone to root for is not about blowing smoke or forced support or false positivity. It's about saying yes to someone else's becoming. It's about connecting rather than competing. It's about choosing to sit on the front row of someone else's life, to watch what they're doing and call out the potential. It's about the joy and relief of being for someone rather than the often easier but soul-crushing work of being against them. When was the last time you knew someone was rooting for you? What did they say or do? Was it a grand gesture or just a little tiny small word? And do they even realize what it meant to you? When was the last time you intentionally cheered someone else on? What did you say or do? How did you show up for them? How did you feel before, during, and after? Here's to stepping outside your own timeline for a moment to hold space for someone else's joy, growth, or unfolding. Here's to paying attention to what that does for them and for you. May you always have somebody rooting for you, and may you find someone to root for as you do your next right thing in love. Now, here is a sneak peek of the introduction to the birthday collection in the Quiet Collection app. Every culture, family, friend group, and individual may have their own birthday rituals and celebrations. And every year of birth may warrant a different kind of moment. We celebrate a first birthday differently than we do a 10th or 21st or a 35th or a 98th. We know not all birthdays are created equal. But there is, of course, one thing every birthday has in common, no matter what year it is, or where it happens, or what's going on in the world that day. It's you. Every birthday, here you are again. Another year has passed. Was it the best one yet? Was it terrible in every way? Like your whole life, this year was a mix of everything. Another 4 seasons of color and grace, sorrow and joy, boredom and loneliness, ambition and disappointment, disbelief, loss, celebration, and good food. And of course, as always, a million decisions, big and small. Here, during your birthday week, let's pause a little every day to take a deeper, lighter, more thoughtful look at your right now life. We won't force a bright side where there is none. We'll never linger in regret. And we'll try not to be overly sentimental. Okay, maybe just a smidge of that last one, because how could we not? Because this is your birth week, and that means it's time to celebrate you and your whole actual life, the one that was, that is, and that is yet to come. Whether or not this is a milestone birthday, whether you have a party planned or a solo trip, a small dinner or a week-long bash, here's a space for you. For the next 7 days, it's just you and you, spending a little time each day to consider who you're becoming now and who you have become. This is going to be so fun. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for listening to episode 373 of The Next Right Thing. I hope this simple practice of finding someone to root for can be just one more rung on the trellis upon which your rhythm of life can continue to grow. Because while it's true, this is a podcast about making decisions, the bigger truth is our daily decisions are making our lives. If you know someone who has a birthday coming up, head on over to the Quiet Collection app and purchase the birthday collection for them. All you need is their email address, and we'll do the rest. This collection has a 4 to 6 minute guided meditation for every day of their birth week, including questions for their own reflection, future casting, and just plain old personal celebration. It's a meaningful gift to send and to receive, and of course, you can get it for yourself too. If you don't have a birthday coming up or know someone who does, who cares? Get it now, save it for your birthday, or listen to it right away if you just need a personal reset. Once you own it, you have access to it forever. I hope that you love listening to it as much as I have loved making it for you. Visit the link in the show notes or navigate to the Quiet Collection in the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, and you can download it today. If you already have the app on your phone, important announcement, you will need to update the version of the app that you have so that the collection shows up. So if you get into the app and it looks weird or you can't find the birthday collection, just navigate to wherever you downloaded the app for free in the first place, update it, come on back and find the collection. Hopefully it will work out for you. If not, email us and we'll get you all sorted. As always, you can find me online at emilypfreeman.com or on Instagram at Emily P. Freeman. A big thanks to the team at Unmutable, who edits our sound, as well as Ashley Sherlock, who keeps us organized. And a quick note, the team at Unmutable also did all of the audio, as well as Caleb Peavy, the brilliant, the only, did the piano for the Quiet Collection app for the birthday collection, this brand new one. So you will be able to enjoy his lovely piano music, as always, as he does for every collection. So be sure not to miss that. Thank you, Caleb. Brilliant work. Well, in closing, here are a few words from John Green in his book, Everything is Tuberculosis. We can do and be so much for each other, but only when we see one another in our full humanity, not as statistics or problems, but as people who deserve to be alive in the world. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.